evening, yogis. Welcome to your 6:30 Tuesday evening Vinyasa flow yoga class. And I'm subbing for Asha Marie tonight. She is not feeling well, so we are sending her some healing vibes. We are going to be focusing on our feet tonight. And our peak poses will be coming into our eagle pose and our tree pose, our one-legged standing poses, and focusing on standing solidly in all four corners of our feet, the top two corners of the ball, and then the bottom two corners of the heel, because in our yoga practice, everything translates from the bottom up. And if we have that firm foundation in our feet, then everything upwards is in good alignment. If we're sinking into those inner arches or on the outer edges of our feet, we can see how it affects our legs and on up. So we will start, however, though, with our most important part of our yoga practice, lying down, establishing our breathing. So as we come to our mats this evening, just grounding down, settling in, letting go of all that craziness out there as we just find ourselves grounding down here. Thanking ourselves for the hardest part of our practice, which is making it to our mats. So good job, yogis, making it for the hardest part of your practice. Just taking a slow, smooth inhale breath in through the nose and letting it go out the mouth. Taking another slow, expansive breath in through the nose, filling that chest up, expanding through lungs, ribs, belly, and then as we slowly exhale out, letting that belly button drop further towards the spine. Just feeling the weight of Mother Earth supporting us, back of the skull heavy on the mat, arms heavy, hands heavy, hips heavy, legs heavy, heels all sinking into our mat here. Continuing to breathe, picturing that breath as a tiny white light traveling up the length of the spine on the inhale, drawing it all the way up to the crown of our head. And that same tiny white light traveling down the length of the spine on the exhale. Letting it travel out through the tips of our toes. Continuing to expand through chest, lungs, ribs here on the inhales. And then letting that belly button sink further towards the spine with the exhales. Turning our attention inward, taking that inventory from head to toe. Just noticing those areas that might feel particularly tight or stuck tonight. Sending extra breath, extra love to those tight, stuck areas. Letting go of any tension in the face, the jaw, softening around the eyes. Setting your own intention for your own practice tonight as we turn our attention inward. Taking about 5 more deep inhales and exhales here before we begin to move into our asana practice. Always being mindful that we come to our mats with self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-love. And finishing up, bottom of that last exhale breath. On the next inhale, blinking eyes open, stretching arms long overhead, reaching fingertips to the back wall and toes to the front of the room here. Nice big inhale. And as we exhale, we can leave those arms stretched overhead, but we can relax the arms. And we're going to start with the right leg, picking that right foot, right leg up off the floor here, maybe about 2 or 3 inches. Those toes pointed towards the sky. Internally rotating that inner thigh. And then pointing and flexing our right foot here, just starting to bring some awareness to this foot, this right foot, waking up those shin and calf muscles. Noticing how that feels as we point the toe to the front of the room and then flex our toe back towards our head, keeping the heel to the front of the room. And stretch through all 5 toes. Just pointing and flexing our right foot a few more times. And then gently bringing that right foot, that right leg back to the earth. Let's go ahead and bring arms out to the side. And then lifting that left foot, that left leg up off the mat about 3 inches. Leg straight, and then starting to point and flex the toes on that left foot, pointing and flexing those toes to the sky, internally rotating that thigh so that inner thigh is rolling downward. Just bringing awareness, inviting awareness to how that feels in that left foot, waking up shin and calf muscles, stretching through all 5 toes. And pointing and flexing a few more times on this left side. And then letting that left foot, that left leg drop slowly back to the earth. And let's go ahead and bring arms down long at the sides, and we're going to bring both feet, both legs straight to the sky, pressing that low back into the earth so we lengthen tailbone to the front of the room, and then we bring legs up to the sky, pointing and flexing both feet. And again, just kind of doing some research here with our feet. We can, as we flex the toes towards our head, at first we can kick the pinky toe towards the sky and have our big toe down towards our head, noticing how that feels to have those outer edges up towards the sky. And then we can rotate that foot and do opposite with the big toe up to the sky and the pinky toes down. So noticing how that feels as it translates up through the shins and the calves muscles. Still breathing. And then let's take those legs apart here for a wide-legged forward fold on our backs. Breathing space through inner groins. Nice deep inhale and exhale here. And then gently closing those legs back together. Bending legs at the knees, planting soles of the feet flat on the mat. Shifting hips to the left side of the mat. We're going to drop our knees over to the right on the floor here for a nice, easy floor spinal twist. Arms out in T-shape or goalpost. You can have a block between your knees or under that bottom knee if it feels too twisty this early. Turning our head, bringing our chin opposite way that our knees are facing. Chin towards that left shoulder, just nice, easy inhales and exhales here, all down that left side body. Letting something soften with each exhale. And then bringing knees back to the sky as we plant. Soles of the feet flat on the earth, shifting those hips through center, and then shifting hips over to the right side of the mat. Dropping knees to the left on the floor here for a nice, easy floor spinal twist on the other side. Arms out in T-shape or goalpost. Turning that head, bringing that chin over to that right shoulder. Again, if it feels too twisty this early, you're welcome to prop a block under that bottom knee or between your knees. You can use books at home or a rolled up towel if you don't have yoga blocks. You can improvise. It's breathing space here, all down right side body in a nice, easy supine spinal twist. And then planting soles of the feet flat on the mat, knees to the sky, shifting hips through center. Let's go ahead and hug both knees tight to our chest, wrapping arms around both shins, rocking side to side, massaging that low back into the earth. And then rocking forwards and backwards along that spine. And eventually rocking up, rolling over shins. We're going to bring it into our tabletop, all fours on our hands and knees. So in our tabletop, hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart. We're externally rotating those arms so the elbows are facing the back wall. Keeping a slight bend in those elbows as we work into our cat-cows. Inhaling into our cow pose. Chin up, collarbones wide, crown of the head up, tailbone to the sky. And then as we exhale into our cat, dropping that head, doming our back, gaze at the back wall, separating through those back shoulder blades. You can take cat-cow at your own pace here, really widen through collarbones. Crown of the head up, tailbone to the sky. Exhaling on cat, separating through those back shoulder blades. You want that nice inner forearm stretch. You can point fingers out to the side for the back wall. You can even have palms up if you want to stretch through those wrists. You can even take your hips around in circles. If you'd rather take that version of warming up your hips here, warming up our spine. in preparation for our standing poses. And then finishing up with that last cat-cow. Bringing that spine back to neutral, head, neck, spine in one long line. Gaze top of the mat, those abs engaged, strong core. Tucking toes under, bringing hips to sky for downward facing dog. You can keep your knees bent a lot here. So you push the floor away with palm, thumb, index finger, no tension in head, neck, or shoulders, tailbone push to the sky. You can slowly start to pedal those feet out. Right, left, right, left. Still breathing. Coming up on both toes, taking a deep bend in both knees, laying our belly on our thighs as we push the floor away, tailbone to the sky. Nice big inhale here. And as we exhale, straighten those legs, bringing heels back to the earth. Let's go ahead and inhale forward to a plank pose. Now you can take traditional plank. You can drop to your knees. You can take it back to tabletop. Take whatever works for you. If we're in traditional plank, head, neck, spine in one line, abs engaged. Pushing heels to the back wall. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Tailbone to the sky as we push the floor away. Inhaling forward to plank pose again. And then with those elbows hugged in tight, close to ribs, bending at the elbows, we're going to release all the way down into our mats. So head down, face down, belly down. We're going to do a few low cobras here. So hands next to ribs, shoulder heads rolled away from ears. Those arms hugged in tight, close to our body. Exhaling out on the inhale, stretching crown of the head to the front of the room here in our low cobra. Shoulder heads rolled away from ears, stretching through our low back. Nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, releasing that face back down to the mat. Taking a second low cobra, exhaling out. On the inhale, lifting up, crown of the head to the front of the room. And as we have our hands flat on the mat in low cobra, you might even pull your palms towards the back wall here, staying in low cobra. If you want to take full cobra, you can bring your hands a little further apart and straighten your arms into full cobra if you want more of a low back stretch here. Nice deep inhale. And releasing back down on the exhale. Releasing face back down on the mat. Those hands hugged in tight next to ribs, arms next to ribs, tucking toes under. Bringing it back to a plank pose. And then exhaling back to downward facing dog, pushing tailbone to the sky. Let's go ahead and walk those feet up to meet those hands. And we're going to bring it into our forward fold, our Uttanasana. So feet hip width apart here. Our feet should look like the number 11. As we come into a ragdoll pose, you can have arms hooked at elbows, hands down to blocks or the mat. As we sway from side to side, shifting our weight from foot to foot. You should be able to shake that head yes and no in ragdoll pose. Still breathing, still warming up the backs of the legs, the low back. coming to stillness in the center, slowly rolling up, vertebrae by vertebrae, until we make our way up to standing with that head and neck coming up last. Hi, yogis. Okay, here we are in our mountain pose. So, checking in with our feet, making sure we're standing in all four corners, not on the outer edges or the inner arches. Long and tall on our spine, abs engaged, shoulder heads rolled away from ears. Inhaling, we reach up, arms overhead, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, we fold all the way over, Uttanasana. Inhaling, halfway lift, back flex, shoulders out of ears. Exhaling, we plant both hands top of the mat and then we step or hop back to our plank pose. Modified plank on your knees if you need to. Those elbows hugged and tight as we bend at the elbows, bringing it into our chaturanga. And then inhaling into either upward facing dog or low cobra. And then folding over those toes as we exhale back to downward facing dog. Tailbone to the sky. Now that's our vinyasa flow. You want to skip the vinyasa flow and go straight to downward facing dog, that's fine. Make it your own yoga practice. Take what you need and leave what you don't. Nice deep inhale and exhale here. Coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop, both feet to the top of the mat in between hands. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, we fold all the way over. Inhaling, rooting down to rise up, sweeping arms, fingertips to the sky. For our sun salute, exhaling, hands to heart center prayer. Let's do another Surya Namaskar A. Inhaling, we reach up. Exhaling, we fold all the way over. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we plant both hands top of the mat. We step or hop back to our plank pose. Strong in the vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Pushing the floor away, tailbone to the sky. Nice big inhale and exhale here. Coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop, both feet top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, rooting down, rise up. Sweeping arms, fingertips to the sky, saluting the sun. Exhaling, hands to heart center prayer. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar A. Inhaling, we reach up. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, planting both hands top of the mat, step or hop back to plank. Strong in the vinyasa or skip the vinyasa. And take it straight back to downward facing dog. Tailbone to the sky, nice big inhale and exhale here. Coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop, both feet top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, rooting down to rise up. Reaching fingertips to the sky, saluting the sun. Exhaling, hands to heart center prayer. Nice work, yogis. All right, now we're going to inhale into our chair pose, our Utkatasana, so low in the chair pose, arms reaching to the sky, and then as we exhale those arms back, coming up on our heels, inhaling forward, shifting our weight to the balls of our feet and our toes, just moving back and forth here, shifting our weight from heels up to balls of the feet and toes and noticing how that feels in our feet. bringing awareness to those different, all those little muscles in our toes, maybe waking some things up in our feet here as we just shift our weight back and forth, getting a little bit of a leg workout here too. Never too early to get those thighs in shape for bikini weather, shorts weather. And last time forward, we're going to bring hands to heart center prayer. Inhaling up, exhaling over to the right into the prayer twist, hooking that left elbow across right knee, and look down at your knees. If that right knee scooted back, scoot it up so that it's even with that left knee here in our chair prayer twist. Pushing those prayer hands together, holding, breathing. Nice work, yogis. And then releasing hands back to heart center prayer, releasing into our forward fold, our Uttanasana. Oh, that feels good. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhaling, planting both hands, top of the mat, stepping back, taking it through the Vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Tailbone of the sky, nice big inhale and exhale here. Coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop both feet, top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, moving down to rise up, reaching arms, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hands to heart center prayer, Samasthiti. All right, inhaling into our chair pose, low, sitting low in that chair, arms up. And this time, as we shift our weight back to our heels, we're going to bring right arm back, left arm forward. And then as we shift our weight forward onto those balls and toes, we're going to alternate. You can move at your own pace here. Again, just bring awareness to all those different little foot muscles, leg muscles, as everything translates up into the legs and the thighs, shifting our weight back and forth. Breathing. Getting in our leg workout too here. And all right, last time, shifting our weight forward, then planting our weight on all four corners of our feet, hands, heart center prayer, staying low in the squat. Inhaling up, exhaling into the prayer twist, hooking that right elbow across left knee. If that left knee scooted back, then scoot it forward so that it's even with the right knee. Just breathing here, holding. And then hands back at heart center prayer, releasing into our forward fold. Oh, that feels good. Whew. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, planting both hands, top of the mat, stepping, hopping back to our plank. Strong in the Vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Let's take 2 deep breaths here. Nice big inhale and exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. And then inhaling that right leg back and up towards the back wall. Flexing that right back foot. Keeping those toes pointed towards the earth. And then slowly stepping our right front foot through in between hands. We're going to inhale up into a runner's lunge. So low on that front leg, back leg straight, heel off the ground, and a here, runner's lunge. Arms to the sky, shoulder heads away from ears. And as we exhale, we're going to bend that back leg. Bringing those arms down here, we're going to pulse through this and inhaling up. Exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling up, exhaling, the last one, inhaling up, exhaling, and then we're going to bring it to a triangle pose. So this right leg out front, left leg back. Let's have our blocks handy for this. So in our triangle pose, really pulling that right hip back and right hip socket as we reach out. We can have that hand on the block or right ankle. Left arm to the sky here as we open up. On the left side in our triangle pose. Our arms in one long line of energy here. And then shifting all of our weight into that front right foot, let's bring it to warrior three. Hands, heart center prayer. You can shoot arms out front. You can have hands on blocks. You can use the wall to balance if you want in warrior three. Gaze on the floor 3 feet in front of you. That back left leg up. Those toes turn down towards the mat, that inner thigh. Internally rotating here, warrior three. Standing in all 4 corners of that standing foot. And then bringing it to our half moon pose, our Ardha Chandrasana. Left arm up, left leg stays up here as we open up into our Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon pose. On this left side. And flex that back foot. You can use a block under that right hand. Balancing. And then slowly releasing both hands back, top of the mat as we bring it back through the flow. Strong Vinyasa, upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Nice big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling that left leg back and up towards the back wall. Flexing that back left foot, toes pointed down, and then slowly stepping left front foot through in between hands. We're going to bring it up into our crescent lunge. So inhaling, arms up, back leg straight, heel off the ground. Low in that front leg. Inhaling up, exhaling as we bend that back leg, arms down. Moving collectively with our breath here. Through the pulse. Feeling that front left foot, all 4 corners, connected with the earth. One more inhale and exhale. And then we're going to straighten, turn this way, this left front leg for triangle pose. So straightening that left leg, pulling that left hip back, and the hip socket reaching forward. We can have this left hand on a block or to the ankle as we bring it into our Trikonasana, our triangle pose on this side. Opening up. Our arms in one long line of energy. And then shifting into warrior three. So standing in that left front foot, you can have hands at heart center prayer. You can shoot arms out front. If you want traditional warrior three, you can bring hands to a block. You can balance against a wall, taking whatever form of Warrior 3 feels good for you tonight. Those toes pointed down, that inner thigh rolled down, actually rolling up, hugging those inner thighs together. Gaze on the floor 3 feet in front of you. And then keeping that back leg up, we're going to bring right arm up, left hand to a block or the floor as we open up into our half moon, our Ardha Chandrasana, flexing that back right foot, balancing here in our half moon pose. Beautiful, yogis. And then slowly releasing both hands back, top of the mat as we bring it into the plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Nice deep inhale and exhale here. And coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop, both feet top of the mat. And from here, we're just going to go ahead and bring it all the way up to standing on both feet. For our peak poses, our one-legged standing poses. So we'll start with our eagle pose. Standing in our right foot, our right leg. Left leg comes up, arms out. As we wrap that left leg over, we wrap the left arm under. And you can have hands on shoulders. Or you can take the traditional eagle wrap here. Bending low. That bottom right foot connected, all four corners connected to the earth. You can wrap that left foot around as we bend low into our eagle pose. Our goal is to get elbows, knees in one long line, those shoulder heads down, out of our ears. Our focus, our drishti gaze in one point straight ahead of us. And then as we release, we send fresh oxygenated blood to every part of our body. All right, taking our Garudasana, our eagle pose on the other side. So standing in that left foot solidly connected to the earth. Arms out, right leg comes up and over. As we bend into the squat, wrapping right leg around, we wrap right arm under left. You can have hands on shoulders. You can take the traditional eagle wrap. As we bend low, our gaze focused on one point straight ahead of us. Sitting here in our eagle wrap. Our goal is to get elbows and knees in one long line. Beautiful. Building our concentration, our stamina, our balance. And then as we release from that, we send fresh, oxygenated blood to every part of our body. Nice work, ladies. All right. Our second one-legged standing poses, our tree pose. So standing in that right foot, you can bring sole of left foot to right calf or all the way up to right inner thigh. Just avoid the knee area. And then you can do whatever you want with your hands in tree pose. You can have hands hearts in a prayer. You can grow the branches of a tree if you wish. This is a great pose for giving and receiving gratitude out into the universe. Long and tall in our spine, crown of the head to the ceiling. And then releasing center prayer. That left foot comes back to the earth to meet the right foot. And then taking our tree pose, our Vrikshasana on the other side, standing solidly in that left foot, sole of the right foot comes up to be the right calf, or all the way up to inner right thigh, just avoid the knee area. We have hands at heart center prayer. Grow branches of the tree. It's giving, receiving gratitude, especially during these crazy times we're living in right now. It's being grateful for what we do have, hanging on to that. And then bringing hands back through heart center prayer as we release that right foot back to the earth to meet left foot. Bowing in gratitude to our standing poses. Nice work, yogis. Bringing it onto our mats, on our backs. All right, for a bridge pose next. So, in bridge pose, soles of the feet planted flat on our mat, legs bent at the knees. Bringing our heels to our glutes. Rolling, tucking those shoulders under. Knees stay together. Exhaling out on the inhale, lifting hips to the sky. You can have your arms in karate chop position, or you can interlace your hands underneath you on the mat, taking traditional bridge pose. Just breathing here as we keep those knees together. And then slowly letting those hips release all the way back to the earth. All right, our second bridge pose will be supported bridge, which is nice and restorative. So same setup, soles of the feet flat on the mat, legs bent to the knees, heels to our glutes, rolling, tucking those shoulders under with a block in one hand. We lift those hips up, we slide that block wideways under our tailbone, and then we let the full weight of our hips rest on that block, and it might take a little bit of wiggling around to find that sweet spot. Once you find it, it feels really good. You can have arms long down at your sides. You can keep legs bent at your knees. It's yogi's choice. You can stretch legs long to the front of the room. You can have arms out wide if you want to take starfish pose. This is a great deep hip flexor stretch. You're welcome to bring feet and legs to the sky if you want to take the half inversion. That one feels really good if you massage that sacrum into the block. Taking whatever form of supported bridge feels best for you in your body today. Still breathing. Still letting something soften with each exhale. And then bending both legs at the knees as we bring soles of the feet back flat to our mat, lifting hips up, removing blocks, setting that block off to the side. Go ahead and bring feet and legs to the sky for happy babies. So feet apart, knees apart. Our feet flexed like we're going to stamp the ceiling, either grabbing outer shins or outer edges of feet, pulling those shins down, those ankles tracking over those knees. You can rock your baby or keep your baby still. That low back, those shoulders pressed into the earth. It's a great low back release. finally hugging both knees tight to our chest, wrapping arms around both shins, giving ourselves one final squeeze of love. And this is also the time you should take any final poses, postures, movements that you need to take to get completely comfortable as we come into our final resting pose. Our Shavasana, taking whatever form of Shavasana feels good for you. If you'd like to take legs up the wall, prop yourself up, letting all the hard work you've just done the last 43 minutes settle in to our final resting corpse pose, Shavasana. One must have, first of all, a solid foundation. If the foundation is firm, the building can withstand calamities. The practice of yoga is the foundation so that the self is not shaken under any circumstances. Slowly starting to wiggle your fingers and toes, rolling those wrists and ankles around, bringing life back into your limbs and your body. Gently stretch your arms long overhead like you're just waking up from a deep sleep. And then you can gently roll over onto your favorite side and slowly push yourself up to a comfortable seated position with your head coming up last, facing the front of the room. Our hands gathered together at Heart Center Prayer and Anjali Mudra. Just being grateful for all of the many blessings that we have and sending this gratitude out to all beings everywhere. Thank you for letting me guide you today. Namaste. Thank you, yogis.